We have two sides on the debate, two sharp sides on this debate, 18 or 16. That's what we are debating. Subramaniam Swamy and Aryaman Sundaram, senior leader of the BJP and senior advocate of the Supreme Court respectively. And on the other side, we have Vrindra Grover, human rights lawyer and activist, Neena Nayak, former member of the NCPCR, and Sudha Ramalingam, advocate and human rights activist. Should we argue factually, ladies and gentlemen? Should we keep the debate factual tonight? Okay, I presume that's a yes from everyone? Yes. Okay. Because the facts are not in favor of keeping the age limit at 18, Vrindra Grover. The number of rapes committed by juveniles shows a 60% increase in 2013 compared to 2012. These facts do not, and these are just juvenile rape. The highest increase in the incident of crimes committed by juveniles was observed under the head Vrindra Grover, assault on women with an intent to outrage her modesty, that's 132.3%, followed by insult to the modesty of women, 70.5%, and rape, 60.3%. Factually speaking, there is no argument here. You have to lower the juvenile age, don't you?
All right, can I answer now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the data that you have shown to us, actually another part of the data which you did not inform your audience is that the juvenile committing rape has actually dropped from 4.7 to 4.1 from 2012 to 2013. This is the NCRP data. What you are telling us is that there is a rise. That rise even now constitutes 1.2% of the total crimes committed under the IPC. Secondly, yes, there are juveniles committing the crime. There is no denying the fact. Why is there this sudden spurt in 1 year in the crimes committed by age group of 16 to 18? There is a rational reason for this. Under the Criminal Law Amendment Act, the statutory age of rape was raised from in 1983 it was 16 years, and in 2013 it was changed to 18 years. This is the age bracket where a lot of young people actually have consensual sexual relations. However, due to parental and other social forces, an FIR is lodged, and those cases then are actually expanding this category. Those of us who appear in courts, though 2 days ago I was at a judicial training.
That's an extremely anti-victim argument, I think.
Ballooning this category. Sorry?
It's a very anti-victim argument.
This is what the figures.
You dismiss incidents of potential rape as a consensual sex.
Statistics in themselves do not ever tell a full story. Please read the statistics correctly.
I've read the statistics.
I work in the trial court. I work with women victims. I work with this category of people. So I know where these figures are coming from. Secondly, this very issue was, just one moment, half a minute. This issue was raised by Dr. Swamy before the Supreme Court in a petition filed by him. I appeared in the Supreme Court on behalf of child rights and women's rights groups. The Supreme Court in March 2014 held in our favor that based on international opinion, based on current jurisprudence, the age should not be changed even for heinous crimes, reaffirming the Supreme Court's decision of 2013.
I am talking in a very...
Should the law be changed?
Okay, now you've given your point of view. I'll now invite the other side. I will just say this. I am speaking from a very common person point of view that almost every second incident of gang rape we hear was some of the most brutal in this country, whether it is the Shakti Mills gang rape,
all rapes
right, or most of the recent ones which have been played up in the media in a big way include those not just of juveniles but of repeat offenders. In fact, I will only ask you here, Vrinda, and I want to put this to Subramaniam Swamy, that does your heart go out for cases like the one in September 2013 where a juvenile convicted for raping and murdering a 6-year-old girl upon his release threatened to do the same thing to the younger daughter of the family? I mean, there are people who feel tremendously insecure with this kind of legal cover. Subramaniam Swamy's turn.
Let us talk.
Now his turn. Now his turn, I'll come back to you. He listened to you. Now his turn, and I know you're on other sides, and then I'll come back to you. Subramaniam Swamy.
First of all, I want to remove one confusion. that no one is advocating that the cutoff age for juvenile should be lowered from 18 to 16 or whatever. We are only saying that for certain heinous crimes, there should be an exception made, and that exception is that in these heinous crimes, the person who is below 18 and has committed such crime, he should be treated as an adult.
Yeah.
This is all that we are saying. And may I say, this is there in the Juvenile Justice Act as passed by Parliament in 2000, in the rules, where in Rule 4 they quote the Beijing rules to say that the cutoff the age should be determined by the emotional and intellectual maturity of the person committing a heinous crime. It is there in the 1989 Rights of the Child Convention also. Now, what the Supreme Court said, and no one should be allowed to mislead this panel on this, the Supreme Court did say that we find no reason to set aside the act. However, we do acknowledge that what Mr. Swamy says about reading into the law, I did not ask for striking down the law, reading into law this exception, this only Parliament can do. And that's why we are back to Parliament today to ask for Parliament to change it. Now, the question is not so much statistics itself, that itself is very serious as you pointed out, but I say the victims have rights too. When Nirbhaya lost her life at the prime of her career, she was about to begin a promising career, she had rights, Article 21 rights, fundamental rights, the right to life. She was deprived of it in a most brutal, systematic way. Why should I treat this as a juvenile? He should be treated as an adult and given the punishment that is due for an adult. So the key question is mens rea. Was there intent or not? When you commit rape and you commit murder, it's not like stealing a bicycle or running away with a pastry in a bakery shop. It's a totally different crimes. And therefore, for where this kind of mens rea is there, we have to make an exception, and that is all that we are asking.
What is more important, Neena Nayak and Sudha Ramalingam? No, one sec. After that, Aryaman Sundaram will complete the first round. And by the way, it's open debate. Feel free to come in. The first two sides have given their point of view. The question at this stage is, what is more important, Neena Nayak, Sudha Ramalingam? Security to the victims and potential victims? Or security to the accused and potential accused? What is more important? Why do we work in this politically correct system where we do not care about how people think, the insecurity that is spread? We hear of cases of teenage and young girls being raped at will by repeat offenders. Many of them always minors, they all get away. Would one be secure if after 2 or 3 years of some juvenile home they come out on the streets and commit that kind of offense again? Neena Nayak, keep in mind.
Arnab, first of all, Arnab, I object to your whole one-sided, lopsided approach. You're already slanting to the other side, saying that these children should get punishment. That's one. The second one is...
No, the Supreme Court has said it.
In the Juvenile Justice Act, there is something called place of safety. Now, if these children have committed any crime, heinous crime also, they need to go into a place of safety. The Juvenile Justice Act very clearly indicates that, where you have service, where you have rehabilitation, you have cognitive therapy, everything for them to mainstream them or to get them into life to change it. And look at the background of these children.
The nature of the offense.
Of 2011,
the nature of the offense does not matter.
Children come from such deprived background. Why don't we think of where they come from?
And what about the victims? What about the victims? What about the victims? What kind of argument is that? The accused come from deprived background, so if you are poor, you have a right to rape? If you are poor, you have a right to rape, Miss Neena Nayak? What kind of argument is that?
We know that these are heinous crimes. We agree to that.
No, but how can you say what kind of backgrounds these people come from? What did you mean by that?
What are the antecedents? What kind of a social life do these children have? How have they been exploited as children? Why are they there?
I have just one question for you, Ms. Nayak. On the 4th of June 2014, a 13-year-old girl was gang raped by 3 boys, 2 of them minors at Badalpur in Greater Noida. She was a class 7 student. 1 second.
I agree.
She was a class 7 student. She was a class 7 student. All the 3 boys were minors. I want to ask you today, what happens to that girl? will you say she comes from a very privileged
Definitely.
background?
There is something called restorative justice. There is something called restorative justice. Let's approach, use that system. Let's find out why.
Ma'am,
these
this is
boys
now,
did it.
this is now, Aryaman Sundaram.
Rehabilitation.
Okay, so Aryaman Sundaram wants to come
We
in.
are as sympathetic to the victim
Ma'am,
as the child who has committed
Ma'am,
such a
should the
crime.
severity of the crime have no consequence in these cases? Should there be no room for discretion instead of a blanket rule?
The system doesn't approach these children correctly. These systems,
Ma'am,
this child of Nirbhaya case,
Miss Nayak, no, Sudha
brought into
Ramalingam.
conflict
Okay,
to the law.
Since I am pitting myself against you in this debate, my question is that doesn't it seem ridiculous, Sudha Ramalingam, that a boy who picks pockets and a boy who commits rape are subjected to the same law? If you are old enough to commit such a heinous crime, should you not be old enough to serve the time?
You're absolutely right in a way and you're wrong in another way. You're right in saying that there could be a classification of crimes, but you should also understand who is committing this crime, under what circumstances, and why do they commit these crimes.
Why they
and
commit?
What is the punishment
No, one
for?
second.
Wait a minute,
can
let me
I-
finish.
Ma'am, this is now becoming ridiculous.
The very purpose of punishment is for reformation.
Now, how can you say why they commit rape?
The philosophy behind the... Wait a minute, please.
Ma'am, you're a human rights activist. How can you say why they commit rape or what background they come from?
Kindly wait a minute, let me finish.
Is there a reason and justification for an act of rape?
Wait a minute, let me finish my sentence. We do not justify any crime. All that we say is punishment should have its own philosophy. Punishment is not for retribution. Punishment is for reformation. And in a system where if you are going to put these young children along with the hardened criminals, do you think you can ever have a reformation? And what is it that you are talking about? We do not under any circumstance.
No, you can argue. No,
any crime whatsoever.
No, Miss Ramalingam.
All that we say is...
Miss. Okay. One second. Aryaman Sundaram. Aryaman Sundaram coming to the debate. Brinda Grover, I see your hand go up. I'm coming to you after that. Yes, Aryaman Sundaram.
Arnab, I think we are...
Aryaman Sundaram, please. No, yes.
Arnab, I think that... Ms. Ramalingam, may I come in, please? Arnab, I think that Ms. Ramalingam is coming from a basic erroneous premise, which is that the purpose of punishment is purely reformative. I'm afraid that is not so. Punishment has three
It's
roles
not
to it.
retribution under
One,
any
it's deterrent,
circumstances.
it's retributive and reformative. And that is the theory of punishment which is judicially accepted.
It's not
It is
reformative,
accepted
it is
in
reformation.
all countries.
Could be
Allow me to
reduction
finish,
and
madam.
different
Please allow me to
extent,
finish.
but never
Which is allowed
retribution.
and approved in all countries in the world. Nobody is saying reformation should be thrown out of the window. Allow me to finish, please. Nobody is saying that reformation should be thrown out of the window, not at all. But the fact is there's also deterrence and retribution. Now what I am concerned with is not an artificial chronological age, changing an age from 18 to 16. I don't agree with that concept at all. In some countries you have an age of 12, you have an age of 14. That is not the test. The test is today's world is that person who has committed the crime, and I use the word person. I don't use the word juvenile. Is the person who committed the crime aware of what he was doing, of the gravity of what he was doing? Did he have, as what Mr. Swami said, the mens rea, which means did he have the intent to commit a wrong knowing it was wrong? If that knowledge is there, then I do not think
Brinda
I'll go by
Grover
this
says it doesn't
chronological
matter.
age of 18 or 17 and a half, because it's ridiculous for me to think that I can think of a boy of 17 years, 364 days who commits a rape and he is okay.
And
but
he'll
if
be out
one
in
day
2
later he
to
does the
3
same
years.
thing, he can be given the most extreme sentence. What it really is the intent behind the act. And that is why I say heinous crimes, take a crime like rape, for example. Please do not compare it with other crimes. When you are talking a crime by rape, like rape, the person doing it knows exactly what he's doing. He cannot do it if he didn't know what he was doing and didn't intend to do it.
In fact,
he was incapable of doing so. Now let's take crimes like this. Can we bring an artificial divide? Chronologically, forget about the person against whom the act has been perpetrated. Forget about society at large and just say, look here, he hasn't reached that magic age of 18. He's only 17 years, 364
Exactly.
days. Therefore, he will not
Exactly.
be punished.
And that's what
Totally
happens.
artificial. Go on the mind. You have countries like the United Kingdom, the United States, which do not stick to an 18-year limit. They have different ages.
Absolutely,
even as Mr.
they
Swami
don't.
said, even the
No, they don't.
The Committee of Human Rights said it has to be the emotional and mental age of the person.
I'm not even.
And I say, even if someone is 40 years and doesn't have the mental health and doesn't realize the gravity of what he's doing, he should equally not be punished. But if you're aware and you know your crime, you know what you're doing, you know the gravity of it, you intend to do it, I do not think there should be an
And
artificial
in fact, I
divide.
just want to point out some startling statistics, because Ms. Grover has decided today she will not believe my statistics, but she will agree with me. According to Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, close to 22%, Ms. Brinda Grover, of all juvenile criminals in National Capital Region of Delhi were repeat offenders. Point number one. Point number two, you can argue that you don't send a 16-year-old boy, even if he's committed the most heinous act of gang rape, to death. But surely there is no reason not to send that person into prison for life, or at least for 5 to 7 years. Third point, and Ms. Grover, on this perhaps you're on weak ground, consider France, consider UK, consider the US, all of them say that a person is liable for the crimes when they are capable of discernment. When you can discern your crime, you are liable to be punished. Three arguments against you, Ms. Grover, and then Subramaniam Swamy can respond to you once again. Yes, Ms. Grover.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Now, what is ridiculous in this debate, actually, since that's the word that's been thrown repeatedly by people arguing on the other side, is that this argument is being made out based on statistics and citing countries without actually probing into what those statistics are showing, or what studies in countries which have adopted the waiver system
we
are
have
showing.
read the laws in those countries.
Can I please finish? I did not interrupt anyone. In the US Supreme Court, which is being cited for its waiver system, recently the US Supreme Court cited in two of its judgments a recent development in neuroscience, which says that that part of the brain of a juvenile develops last. And actually they say the time that it takes to develop goes right up to 21. We are stopping at 18, which is the part which gives you, and it's not cognitive ability, it's about psychosocial maturity, where you are able to resist peer pressure. Juveniles are being caught in crimes committed by gangs, more than one person.
Ma'am, we are talking about 16 to 18. We are not talking about 13.
Please do not interrupt. You have a position on this, and you said we will argue factually, so let's hear facts now. Studies and science tells us facts. These people are susceptible to negative influences. That is why the age of 18 is made. It's based after India came to that decision.
But so is every person who comes from a deprived society capable of negative influences. Does that mean you do not punish him?
May I finish? May I finish? You will get your answer if you will be patient. India took the decision to shift from 16, which was the age under the Juvenile Justice Act of 1986, to changing it to 18, which was the age which was done in 2000.
This peer pressure
after
argument,
much deliberation, not only within India. Okay, so do we want to punish them? What is the purpose of punishment? I agree.
I have a
It is
simple
both
question for you.
And reformative. The point is, will it act as a deterrent? No,
Yeah,
it
I have
will
a
not.
simple question
The
for you.
child, the juvenile cannot be deterred by this.
I have a simple question for you.
And please do not exploit the woman victim for your purpose.
Miss
Victim
Grover,
will be safer.
Miss
Women
Grover,
in this country will be safer if we are able to
Miss
reform
Grover,
juveniles
I will now invite-
rather than throw them in Tihar jail.
Miss
No,
Grover.
just one last
Miss Grover,
question to you,
1.2,
Arnab.
1.2.
Last question. Arnab, give us the statistics of those who come out of Tihar jail and commit repeat offenders. Please present those statistics on this show.
Okay, so here you are, Miss Grover, since you asked for it. Thank you very much. I never miss a chance when I am asked on facts. According to the Juvenile Justice Board, the Delhi police and the authorities at Tihar, between
The Tihar
10 to...
jail.
Yeah, Tihar, ma'am, Tihar.
No, adults. Adults.
Ma'am, Tihar,
Adult
I'm
repeat
giving
offenders.
you Tihar information. You asked for Tihar.
Adult repeat
Between
offenders.
10 to 15%
I
of
said
juveniles.
adult repeat offenders.
And now when
You've
I'm giving you
already given
information from Tihar, next
Please
you'll
give
say,
of
don't give me
adult
information
repeat
from
offenders.
Tihar, give me information from
Adult
Tihar.
repeat offenders from Tihar jail.
Ma'am,
Adult repeat offenders of Tihar jail.
Ma'am, please listen to me. Listen to me. Out of 850 under trials in Tihar at the end of 2012, 8.65% were juvenile criminals turned adult offenders. Most, Miss Vrinda Grover, you'll be interested to know, were accused of murder and robbery. Now, I have a counter question to you.
I'm
My
not
question
asking
is
that.
one second.
I'm
No,
not
my
asking
counter
that.
question now.
Please
Now
tell
my
us
counter
about
question.
repeat offenders of adult convicts.
Ma'am, my counter question to you. My counter question to you is, this whole argument is,
But you
I'm
didn't
sorry
answer
to say,
my question, Arnab. You have all the data at your command.
I have some data and I've shared this with you. Between 10 to 15% of juveniles accused of serious crimes go on to become repeat
No,
offenders as adults.
Convicts.
As
Adult
adults.
Convicts.
As
Only
adults.
then can we compare whether pushing them into the adult
Ma'am,
prison system is going to be helpful or not.
Ma'am,
That is how you will gauge it.
Ma'am, I feel I have successfully proven there has been a rise in the number of repeat offenders. You don't want to accept my facts, that's something else.
No. But will we putting them in Tihar jail in a adult prison, will it be helpful?
Ma'am, my question
will there
is-
not be more repeat offenders?
Okay, take my question.